FTC stands, the FTC stands out from many other regulatory agencies because whistleblowers are not protected by federal law. Recent events, as we've seen with Frances Haugen, have made it clear how important whistleblower protection really is. And that is why I introduced the FTC Whistleblower Act, along with Lori Trahan, my colleague. This legislation protects whistleblowers from retaliation for coming forward, and I wanted to get the opinion of some of our witnesses. It also incentivizes, and Mr. Ahmed, you mentioned incentivization to make sure that these harms are not present there. And I wondered if you could comment on a little bit more on, whether or not and why you believe that the FTC Whistleblower Act would actually help deter social media companies from making business decisions that could be harmful for consumers.
Well, thank you. Yes, I mean, Frances Haugen turned on the floodlights, so to speak, within Facebook. But what she did can't easily be replicated. For one thing, it's incredibly expensive. She had lawyers, there's government affairs, there's the loss of income. And her real value, the reason it's so important, is that she really exposed deception, active deception by social media companies, something that can't easily be replicated with any other mechanism beyond whistleblowing. So, the only way to cast a light on that deception is for moral people to shed light on immorality from within. But the window of a whistleblower like Frances Haugen is limited. I think that since she took all these documents, they've evolved into Meta, they've moved into the metaverse. Most of the anti-vax crisis has happened since then. And we need disclosure of deceit, not every decade, but every time that there is active deceit on something of great public interest. So this bill is incredibly important in bringing forward more moral characters when we need them.
Thank you. Mr. Greenblatt, in your view, would this legislation, you think, work in favor of protecting consumers and ending some of this spreading of the harms that are done?
Yes, Madam Chairman, I think there's no question that the Whistleblower Act is necessary. I mean, to build upon what Mr. Ahmed just said, what we know is, I've had direct conversations with Mark Zuckerberg and other Facebook executives, and they have lied to my face, they have lied to you, they have lied to their advertisers, they have lied to the public. But let's be clear, Silicon Valley is a cliquey place. It is not easy. And so we need to give these people the protections that they need so they don't risk being in violation of their NDAs. They don't risk future opportunities for employment. But I think, again, if we're playing the long game here, we need to realize the moral leadership and the courage displayed by people like, again, Frances Haugen. But think about it. We learned because of her bravery that Facebook is only tackling 3 to 5% of the hate speech on their platform, despite their protestations. We learned that their AI gets less than, wait for it, 1% of the incitements to violence on their platform. The reason why this has prevailed for so long is they are exempt from liability and lack the incentive. So, Madam Chairman, unless we have the means to protect the people who have access to this information, it's clear the companies will not volunteer it to us. So I think it's vital that your act, the FTC Whistleblower Act, is passed.
Thank you. I wanted to ask Dr. Marechal how this legislation would actually help regulators and law enforcement to better understand the economic incentive behind decisions by internet platforms and the ones that they make.
I agree wholeheartedly with the points that that my esteemed colleagues on the panel have made. I think again, federal whistleblower protections make it easier for big tech workers who want to do the right thing to do that. Again, Ms. Haugen benefited from the SEC whistleblower statute, which is why so many of her disclosures directly relate to matters within the SEC's jurisdiction. I am confident that if there were an equivalent for the FTC, we would have seen additional disclosures from her, additional whistleblower complaints related to matters under the FTC's jurisdiction, which includes economic decision-making and the economic factors that go into companies' decision-making.
Thank you so much. And my time has expired, and now I